very liberal in many ways. He was liberal with others, but strict with himself. That's the sign of a real liberal person. They're very tolerant of others, but very strict with himself. Tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama chatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Bhakti pratikula sthanena korivasati bhaktira apriya karye nahi korirati. Tua bhakti bahirmukha, tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Bhaktira virodhi granta patnana koribo bhaktira virodhi vyakya kabunam shunibo. Tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Gorangavajita sthana kirtana himani bhaktira badaka jnana karma tucha jani. Tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Bhaktira badake kalena koriyadar bhakti bahirmukha nichakta jane jane par. Tua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Bhaktira badika spriha koribo bhajan abhakta pradata anana korigrahan. Bhaktira badika spriha koribo bhajan abhakta pradata anana korigrahan. Tua bhakti bahirmukha sangana koribo gorang satua bhakti pratikula dharma jatiroy parama jatanetaha tyajibo nishoy. Thank you. Eshu bhakti pratikula boli jani, Yaji bojatane taha enistroyavani. Bhakti pratikula dharma jateroi, Parama jatane tahadya jivo nishoy. Akati vinoda podi prabhura charane, Magaye sakati pratikuyera bhajane. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura, Hari Bol. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. This next bhajan was composed originally by Vyasadeva, but it was sung by Lord Shiva. And this is a bhajan that glorifies Srimati Radharani. And it says, I won't read all of it, but I'll read some of it. It says, "O Srimati Radharani, you are adorned by the leaders of multitude of sages. You take away the miseries of the three worlds. Your face joyfully blooms like a lotus flower. You delight in playing love sports throughout the secret forest flower houses. O most charming daughter of Rishabhana, beloved of the king of Vraja, Sri Krishna, you are always associated with the king of Vraja, Krishna. When, oh when, will you make me the object of your sidelong glance of causeless mercy? Srimati Radharani, you dwell in a pavilion with a canopy of creepers spread over the branches of Ashoka trees. Your soft, delicate feet radiate the pink coral color of freshly sprouted tree buds. Your upraised hand bestows the benediction of fearlessness. You are the source of divine opulences. When, oh when, will you make me the object of your sidelong glance of causeless mercy? O Srimati Radharani, with the bow of Cupid, your delightful, auspicious, crooked, bending eyebrows, you shoot your arrow messages of love from the corners of your eyes, which cause the charming son of Nanda to be struck with amorous delusions of noble submission to you for all eternity. Oh, when will you make me the object of your sidelong glance of causeless mercy? Oh, Srimati Radharani, your golden form is brilliantly effulgent like lightning and champaka flowers, and your effulgent face eclipses the beauty of millions of full autumn moons, and your restless eyes are like chakora birds or partridges moving to and fro. Oh, when will you make me the object of your sidelong glance of causeless mercy? So you see, this is very emotionally and laced poem glorifying Srimati Radharani. And as I said, if you look on the last page, you'll see this prayer was originally spoken by Lord Shiva. Munindra Vrindavandite Chihiloka Soka Harini Prasana Vakra Pankache Nikunja Bhuvisalini Munindra Rajendra Bhanu Nandini Rajendra Suno Sangate Kada Karishya Sihama Vipaka Daksha Bhajanam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ashoka Vriksha Valari Vitana Mandapastite Vavala Vala Palava Vava Runangri Komale. Varabayas Purat Kare Prahabhuta Sampadalaye Adakarishya Sihama Vipaka Daksha Bhajanam. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ananga Ranga Mangala Prasanga Mangura Bhuvam Visavi Brahmana Sasam Brahmanam Diganta Banapadanai Viganta Banapatana Nirantaram Vasikrita Prahatiti Nandanandane Kadakarishamam Kripa Kadaksha Bhajanam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tadit Suvana Champaka Prahatipta Gora Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasti Kulti Sharadendu Mandale Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakora Savalochane Kadakarisha Mam Kripa Kadaksha Bhajanam Kadakarisha Sihamam Vipakadaksha Bhajana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Madon Mandati Yuvane Prahamoda Manamandite Priyanuraga Ranjite Kalavilasa Pandite Ananya Danya Kunjara Jakama Keli Gobide Kadakarisha Sihamam Kipakadaksha Bhajanam Ashe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Lala Bala Bala Rita Ranga Ranga Dolate Latakra Lasya Lola Nila Lochana Vilokane Lala Lulan Milana Mahanugya Buddha Mahasanshite Kadakarisha Sihama Kikadaksha Bhajanam Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Suvarna mala kanchita chihireka kambu kantache Shishutta mangali guna chiratna dipti dinite. Salola nila kuntala prasuna gucha gambite Kadakarisha sihamam Vipakadaksha bhajanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitamba bimba lamba mana pushpa mekala gunaye Vasasta radha kinkini kalapa madhya manjule. Karindra sundadandika varoha soba gorake Kadakarisha sihama vipakadaksha bhajanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Aneka manchanada manjuni purava saklat samaja raja hamsa vamsa nikpanadi gorave. Aneka manchanada manjuna purava saklat samaja raja hamsa vamsa nikpanadi gorave. Vilola hema valari vidam vicharu chakrame Kadakarisha sihama vipakadaksha bhajanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka Namra Pajarchite Himajrija Pulomacha Virinja Parapade. Apara siddhi dikta satpadanguli nakte Kadakarisha sihama vipakadaksha bhajanam. Apara siddhi dikta satpadanguli nakte Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maheshwari, Trigeshwari, Svedeshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda Bharadishwari, Ramana Sasaneshwari. Rameshwari, Kameshwari, Brahmodakaneshwari, Rajeshwari, Rajadipe, Shiradike Namostute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti mama duklam stavam nisham yavanunandini karotu satatam janam vipakadaksha bhajanam. Pavetta Deva Sanchita Chirupa Karma Nasanam, Pavetta Dava Jendra Suno Mandala Pravesanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Premanande ki Jai. So Vyasadeva continues. He says, verse 7, O Radharani, whose arms are like fresh creepers of lotus stems, playfully swaying in the waves of the river of your youthful pastimes. You whose seductive, very dark blue eyes are like the tip of a creeper blown by a gentle breeze, and your playful sports and alluring movements so enchant Mohan Krishna that he appears hypnotized by you into wonderful meetings. Oh, when will you make me the object of your sidelong glance of causeless mercy? So we see Vyasadeva was writing something that's very confidential and extremely spiritually surcharged poem glorifying Srimati Radharani. And it was so good that Lord Shiva himself recited it. Now you know what's really going on in the world. This is real news. There's nothing fake about this. We don't have a lot of them, so just give. That's right. No. Oh, let's see. You have the one with the translation, okay. So today we're singing Sanskrit bhajans. So this is another Sanskrit bhajan, and it's glorifying Krishna, the king of Vrindavan or Vraja. And it says, Krishna, whose complexion conquers that of a fresh new rain cloud, who is the best king of paramours, the ocean of ecstatic mellows, whose crown is adorned with a lovely peacock feather and is auspiciously tilted to one side. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Vraja. King of Vraja is Nanda Maharaj, and of course Krishna is his son. Krishna, whose broadly bending eyebrows appear like arched rainbows, whose moon-like face belittles millions of ordinary moons, who is endowed with sweet, gentle smiles and pleasant speech, just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Vraja. Krishna, whose divine bodily limbs tremble profusely with Cupid's agitations. Krishna dresses enchantingly just to fascinate the Vrajavasis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan. He is decorated with extraordinary eyes like blue lotus blossoms. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Vraja. Krishna, whose forehead is surrounded by a fringe of wavy locks, whose earlobes are embellished with swaying, shark-shaped earrings, who is adorned with yellow silk embracing his charming hips. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Vraja. This is a very beautiful transcendental bhajan in Sanskrit. Navaniradanindita kantidaram rajasagara nagara bhupavaram Subhavankimacharusikandashikam Vaja Krishna Nidin Raja Raja Sutam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bhuvi Sankitavam Kima Sakrudanum Mukha Chandra Vinindita Koti Vidum Rusvi Sankitavam Kima Sakrudanum Mukha Chandra Vinindita Koti Vidum Vidumanda Suhasya Subhasya Yudam Raja Krishna Didim Raja Raja Sudam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Suvikampadananga sadanangadaram Vrajavasi manohara vesakaram Vrisalanchita nila saroja jisam Bhaja Krishna nidim Raja Raja Sudam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Alakavali mandita balatatam Shruti dolita makara kundalakam Kati vesita pita pahatam sudatam Bhaja Krishna nidim Raja Raja Sudam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalanupura Ranjita Charupadam Maniranjita Ganjita Bringamadam Dvaja Vajraja Sankita Pada Yugam Raja Krishna Nidim Raja Raja Sudam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Vrisha Chandana Charchita Charutanam Manikostu Bhagarita Bhanutanam Brajabala Shiromani Rupa Dvitam Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Raja Raja Sudam. Sura Vrinda Suvandhya Mukta Harim Suragnata Shiromani Sarva Guru. Giridhari Murari Purari Param Raja Krishna Nidhim Raja Raja Sudam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Vishabhanusuta Varakeli Param Prasaraja Shiromani Vesadaram. Jagadishwaram Ishwaram Idyavaram Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Raja Raja Sudam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Ki Jai. Krishna, whose beautiful feet resound with softly tinkling ankle bells that madden all the bees with their vibration of swinging gemstones, whose souls are marked with the flag, thunderbolt, fish, and more. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Vraja. Krishna, whose graceful form is smeared with profuse sandalwood paste, whose body glows like the Kaustuba gem, eclipsing the sun, whose personal beauty represents the topmost zenith of Raja or Vrindavan youths. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Raja. Krishna, who is Mukunda and Hari, worshipable for all the demigods and sages, who is the guru of all created beings, the crest jewel of all lords, who is known as Giridhari and Murari, more exalted even than Lord Shiva. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Raja. Krishna, who is most fond of sporting with the daughter of Rishabhanu, Srimati Radharani, who dresses impeccably as the crown prince of mellow relishers, who is the most praiseworthy Lord of Lords in the entire universe. Just worship Krishna, the dark jewel, the son of the king of Raja. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. This next Bengali bhajan, again, is glorifying Krishna. He says, "O beautiful one, O youthful boy who lives in my heart, please come to me, O dark Shamal, O delighter of my eyes. The desire of my heart is to worship you intimately. In this hope, I humbly bow unto your lotus feet. O love of my eyes, please take me with you. While I am suffering in your separation, the melody of our impending meeting is the only thing that gives me any happiness. O monarch of my life, why do you remain silent and never speak to me? Tears are flowing from my eyes, and nothing in this world gives me any satisfaction. How much longer must I continue living in this condition? You are making me weep and cry for you, O darling Giridhari Lal. If I cannot attain you in this lifetime, then I shall just give up and surrender myself unto death." Sundaramo Manakishor Eso Hishamal Nayana Viram Sundaramana Manakishor Eso Hishamal Nayana Viram Eso Shamal Nayana Viram. Eso Shamal Nayana Viram. Sundaramo Manakishor Eso Shamal Nayana Viram. Bajijo Tomai Mora Manachai Charanira Raki Ekti Pranam Eso Shamal Nayana Viram. Sundaramo Manakishor Eso Ishamalunayana Viram. Nayanir Prima Morilo Yejai. Milanera sur virohe sukai. Pranit divata kabinahi kata. Pranit divata kabinahi kata. Nayanira dada mane nabiram. Eso Ishamalunayana Viram. Sundaramor Manakishor. Eso Ishamalunayana Viram. Emni Koryar Kotokar. Emni Koryar Kotokar. Kandale amay giridarilar. Kandale amay giridarilar. E jivan hai jadi nahi paye. E jivan hai jadi nahi paye. Marane rupare sarananilam. Marane rupare sarananilam. Eso Ishamalunayana Viram. Sundaramor Manakishor. Eso Ishamalunayana Viram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Sundaramor Kishore Eso He Shamala Nayana Viram. Shyamalal Kinailal Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Granth Raj Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi Haribo. So tonight we're going to hear something very interesting from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, verse number 5. And this verse says, Nadya Samudra Giraya Savanaspati Virudaha Falan Yoshadaya Sarva Kamam Anvritu Tasyavai. And in English it says, the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. So we can repeat this. The rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. This verse is saying that because Maharaj Yudhisthira was such a perfect person, a real gentleman, self-controlled, very dedicated to Krishna, always engaged in spiritual activities, and organizing his kingdom so that everyone in the kingdom could make spiritual progress and eventually at the end of life go back to Godhead. That is called an Aryan kingdom, where the purpose of that civilization is to help everyone in the society go back to Godhead in this lifetime. So, for such a king, even not only the people paid taxes, and that time the tax code was very simple. 10%, 25% of your profit. 25% of your profit. If you didn't make any profit, you didn't have to pay. Okay. People happily paid the taxes. But this verse is saying not only did people pay the taxes, but the rivers, the oceans, the hills, the mountains, the forests, the creepers, and the active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. If Trump could have this, he would be in ecstasy. But he can have it if he becomes like Maharaj Yudhisthira. Now we're going to hear why nature also paid taxes to the king. And they didn't begrudge it, they were happy. And the people were also happy. Why? Because the king protected them by making Krishna consciousness available to everyone in the kingdom. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the commentary, since Maharaj Yudhisthira was under the protection of the Ajita. Who is Ajita? Huh? Oh, who is that? Krishna. It's the name of Krishna. He's Ajita. He cannot be conquered. Ajita, or the infallible Lord, Krishna, as above mentioned, the properties of the Lord, namely the rivers, oceans, hills, forests, okay, so the rivers, oceans, hills, forests were all pleased, and they used to supply their respective quota of taxes to the king. Now, nature is under the control of Krishna. When we live according to the principles of Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma, something changes in our life. And if the whole society lives like that, something changes in the lives of everyone. They suddenly notice that nature is cooperating with them, that nature supports them, that nature gives them everything they need without working hard. And we're going to hear this now. The secret to success is to take refuge under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Okay, all the children have to remain quiet, please. The secret to success is to take refuge under the protection of the Supreme Lord. In other words, if you want success in life, we should all depend on Krishna in every way, in every endeavor we do, and always thank Krishna. If Krishna protects us, we have no problems in life. Without his permission, nothing can be possible. To make economic development by our own endeavors on the strength of tools and machinery is not all in all. The sanction of the Supreme Lord must be there. Otherwise, despite all instrumental arrangements, everything will be unsuccessful. The ultimate cause of success is the Daiva, the Supreme Lord. Kings like Maharaj Yudhisthira knew perfectly well that the king is the agent of the Supreme Lord to look after the welfare of the mass of people. Actions of the Supreme Lord, and the living being is allowed to make use of the property of the Lord for the service of the Lord. That's the main point. Real education is not becoming Microsoft certified or Amazon certified. Real education, think correctly in the service of Krishna, then we are educated. But we are being taught through mundane education that the purpose of life is to use everything in our selfish interest. Because of that, okay, all the children have to be quiet, please. Because of that fallacious or false understanding of life, people are in trouble. Look at all the trouble they have. There are fires in Northern California. There are earthquakes in other places. There are tsunamis. There are all kinds of diseases. There's war. There's violence in cities. There's arguments in families. There is I sue you, you sue me. Why are these things happening? They're happening because we're not using everything correctly in the service of Krishna. We have learned to use things selfishly for our own indulgence, our own sense gratification. And because of that, we die young. We are always in trouble. There's always anxiety and fear and trouble. Neighbors give us trouble, family members give us trouble, nations give us trouble, nature gives us trouble. How can we solve this problem? It's explained in this simple verse. It says, to make economic development by our own endeavors on the strength of tools and machinery is not all. The sanction of the Supreme Lord must be there. Otherwise, despite all instrumental arrangements, everything will be unsuccessful. The ultimate cause of success is the Daiva, the Supreme Lord. Actually, the state belongs to the Supreme Lord. In other words, the United States belongs to Krishna. Europe belongs to Krishna. India belongs to Krishna. It doesn't belong to so-called Indians or Americans or Europeans. These are all false concepts. The rivers, oceans, forests, hills, drugs, etc. are not creations of man. They are all creations of the Supreme Lord. And we receive is used for the service of the Lord. And you see it with your own eyes. Everything you see on this altar is expensive. Right? It's 24 karat gold leaf. By the way, we're going to gold leaf all the woodwork here also, like this, very soon. The clothing is very expensive. Look at all the jari work and all the fine details. And we spend a lot of money all the time on festivals. Why? Because Krishna is the richest person. It's one of his opulences. So if we serve Krishna nicely, then Krishna will make arrangements for us. But if we become selfish and individually want to benefit, then everything will be a failure. There'll be fighting, and there'll be loss of faith. That, by the way, is the worst thing that can happen in a spiritual movement. Look what's happening to the Catholic Church. There is tremendous loss of faith in the Catholic Church. Why? Because the church leaders were not able to discipline their priests. And because of that, there's a catastrophe going on. By the way, in America, I don't know if you know this or not, every week 100 churches close in this country. 100 churches every week. Why? Because congregations are going down, donations are going down. Therefore, the churches can't maintain themselves. Same thing is happening in Europe. On the other hand, in the churches that do well in the United States, and there are many churches that do well, they're sending approximately $140 million a year to India to convert Hindus into Christians. Did you know that? In Kanyakumari alone, there are 140 Christian churches now. There's a Christian church on every block in Kanyakumari. Is this true, Prabhu? You're from Tamil Nadu. It's okay.
Yeah, even in our village we have 2 churches.
Yeah. That's why we're starting a new program here. This new program is called Ghar. Nam means the holy name, and Ghar means a house. This was started by a Vaishnava saint called Sankardev in Assam. Sankardev was a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Assam is a place where there's a lot of tribals. So Sankardev, I think 300-400 years ago, started opening what's called namgars. They're just halls, and 3 sides are open. No walls on 3 sides. And that is a message to people. The message is everyone is welcome. You can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, you can be a Hindu, you can be a Dalit. You're all welcome. There are no walls and no doors. You see. Today there are 30,000 Namgars in Assam. What do you do in a Namgar? You go there, it's an open hall with columns, and you chant Hare Krishna. You have nice prasadam. You hear Bhagavat Pravachan, and oftentimes they have a deity also. We're going to do this in Tamil Nadu, starting 2019. We already have devotees there who are preaching in 30 villages, beginning in Tiruchendur, which is in the south, and it's expanding. But they need help. So this temple is going to help them. We can build a Namgar. I'm not asking for money tonight, but I'm just telling you what we're doing. We can build one Namgar for $15,000. This is exactly what the Christians are doing. They advertise in the United States to devout Christians. They explain for $15,000 you can build a church in Kanyakumari, in this town, in this village. They only work in the villages. Right. And if you donate the money, then your name and your picture of you and your family go up in the church. And you see the happy people in the village who are going to that church and being Christianized. Now the Christians are so smart, they have Rathayatras with Jesus and Mary. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you're laughing, but it's very serious. And they chant the Bible in South Indian style, Brahminical style. And Bhagavad Gita, I'm sorry. No, the Bible. The Bible.
They do chant Bhagavad Gita in church.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Which church is that? I'm going to go there. Yeah, okay. So, of course, ISKCON has temples in South India. But the Namgar gives a message to the people. There are no doors and no walls. That means everyone's allowed to come in. There's no caste differentiation. If a person is willing to chant Hare Krishna, they can come in, even if they don't want to chant. And they give prasadam to everyone. And they have Bhagavat Darshan. So our goal is in 2019 we're going to build one in the vicinity of Tiruchendur. In 2020 we're going to build 2. In 2021 we're going to build 4. And 2022 we're going to build 6, and from that point on 6 every year. Think about this. Think about this. If it succeeds in Tamil Nadu, we'll do it in Kerala. If it succeeds in Kerala, we'll do it in Andhra. We'll do it in every state of India. Just like Shankar Dev did in Assam. Okay, so if we live according to Krishna's instructions, then Krishna becomes our friend. And he lets us use his property in his service. And there's no limit to what he'll give us if we sincerely use things unselfishly to help others. That's the whole point. Just like this temple is dedicated to helping people advance in spiritual life. So we have regular classes in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We have regular Kirtan. We have regular deity worship. We have regular prasadam distribution for free. And we go out on the streets and do Harinam, Nagar, Sankirtan. And we distribute food for free. You see our free food truck in the parking lot. It's the only free food truck on the entire west coast of the United States. By the way, we want to have a fleet of these trucks in the near future. We want to build a second one, at least in the first 6 months of 2019. And after that, every 6 months we want another one. We want to have a fleet, just like UPS trucks. You know UPS trucks? We're going to be Hare Krishna trucks going out, prashadam, every day. So, it says here, the rivers, oceans, forests, hills, drugs, etc. are not creations of man. They are all the creations of the Supreme Lord, and the living being is allowed to make use of the property of the Lord for the service of the Lord. Today's slogan is that everything is for the people, and therefore the government is for the people and by the people. But to produce a new species of humanity at the present moment on the basis of God consciousness and perfection of human life, the ideology of godly communism, the world has to again follow in the footsteps of kings like Maharaj Yudhisthira or Parikshit. There is enough of everything by the will of the Lord, and we can make proper use of things to live comfortably without hatred between men or animals and man or nature. So Prabhupada here is talking about godly communism. Now the idea of communism is not exactly bad. The idea is that this is godly communism. There's a difference between the communism that's practiced today. Godly communism says that everything belongs to God, not to the people. Therefore, everyone can work cooperatively together to use all the assets that God has given us in His service and distribute the fruits of all that work to the people freely. Okay. It only works if everyone agrees to live a minimal life, a minimal material life. But this was the culture in India for thousands and thousands of years. You can see it in the architecture. In every town, in ancient towns, the biggest building was not the movie theater or the cricket field or the baseball field or the football field. The biggest building was the temple. And everyone lived around it in small but decent dwellings. And every day, whatever they did, it always began by going to the temple for Mangal Arati and then praying to the Lord and having kirtan and then having some prasad, seeing the worship of the deity, and then going to work, mostly in agriculture and cow protection. This is the real, let's say, occupation for people. Cow protection and land stewardship. Then, God gives us everything we need. There'll be plenty of rain, there'll be sunshine during the day, rain at night. Then nature will give us gold, silver, jewels, and God will give us the rain, and our seeds will grow, and there'll be plenty of vegetables and fruits, and there'll be plenty of milk. And then people are happy. They cook everything in ghee. They eat on clay, they cook with clay pots. They have leaf dishes and cups. Everything is ecological and environmentally friendly. There's nothing toxic, right? You don't need fertilizers. You don't need Monsanto seeds. You don't need pesticides. And you don't need industries. Everyone lives at home. Oftentimes, 3, 4 generations lived in the same compound, right? And everyone cooperated with each other. You didn't need old age homes. You didn't need nursing homes. You didn't need hospices. People took care of their own, their parents, their grandparents. It was a simple, happy life. By the way, next week I'm going to show you a video of what life was like in Tamil Nadu and Andhra 100 years ago. It's a fantastic video. It shows the normal village life. And you see how, they didn't have machines. They did everything with village technology. They could pump water. You'll see two men on a seesaw, pumping the water from the ground and coming out into the field. They didn't need these machines. They didn't need electricity, right? And it shows the whole village, grinding the grain. It shows the women cooking and sewing and making thatched baskets and things like that, and thatched roofs and mud and cow dung houses, and it shows you life as it was over 100 years ago, right? And then it shows the temple, and everyone is chanting kirtan every night. They're worshiping the deity, and they have plays, and the children are singing, and so that was a beautiful life. That was the real India. Nowadays you have concrete jungles in Bangalore and Chennai and Hyderabad. People going to the factory, these big factories. Now there's bars, there's liquor shops, there's kebab every block, and biddies. Instead of city yoga, they do biddy yoga. And all this nonsense going on in India, in the land of Dharma. We're going to change this. It cannot continue like this. Everything today begins from America. Where did they learn to go to the bar? Where did they learn to eat meat? Where did they learn divorce? It all came from America. Where did they learn contraception, abortion? Where did all these things come from? They came from America. Therefore, Krishna consciousness should come from America also. If we are sincere, then we can help not only people in India, in any country. ISKCON has temples in almost every country of the world now. And everywhere we see the same thing. It can be Africa, it can be Australia, it can be Europe, it can be America, it can be Canada, it can be South America, it can be the moon. Anywhere people chant Hare Krishna, they make spiritual advancement. Okay. Because this is a science. Science means it works everywhere. It doesn't only work in Japan, it works everywhere. So, here it says, the control of the Lord is everywhere. And if the Lord is pleased, every part of nature will be pleased. The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. The oceans will supply sufficient quantities of minerals, pearls and jewels. The forest will supply sufficient wood, drugs, and vegetables. And the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. The artificial way of living, depending on factories and tools, can render so-called happiness only to a limited number at the cost of millions. That means the big businessmen will exploit the normal people. They'll live in lavish luxury, and the normal people will be living check to check. This is why in America, a couple years ago, you had Occupy Wall Street. What was Occupy Wall Street all about? People said, wait a minute, in New York there's these big high-rise apartments in Manhattan. Those apartments, beginning price is $5 million to get an apartment. And that's maybe, 1,000 square feet. It costs $5 million. And if you have a big one, imagine how much it costs. But most of the people don't live up on those high-rise apartments in Manhattan. They live on the grounds, in the subways, going to work, coming back from work. And most of those people are living check to check in New York City. In other words, if they don't get their check for that month, they don't eat. Therefore, they said, we're going to occupy Wall Street. It's unfair that these people make so much money, and it's an elite, small number of people. They make so much money, and we're all living check to check. That means that they're not paying us enough money. They're profiting from our work, and they're not sharing. Therefore, we'll fight them. This is why Russia became communistic, because there was, you know, over 100 years ago, there was the Bolshevik Revolution. It took over the whole country, and they killed the Tsar and his whole family, and they seized the land of all the rich people. So, the same thing could happen in India, because in India now you have a large bifurcation between the rich people and the poor people. And it's beginning to happen here, where the strength of America was the middle class, but now many people in the middle class are falling through the cracks. If they lose their job, they're in trouble. So Krishna is saying here, the artificial way of living, depending on factories and tools, can render so-called happiness only to a limited number at the cost of millions of people. Since the energy of the mass of people is engaged in factory production, the natural products are being hampered. And for this, the mass is unhappy. The mass of people are unhappy. Without being educated properly, the mass of people are following in the footsteps of the vested interests by exploiting natural reserves. And therefore, there is acute competition between individual and individual, and nation and nation. Yeah, look what's happening. America, the United States is in acute competition with China right now to see who's going to be the world leader in the next 20 years. They're ready to go to war. They're ready to go to war. They're getting ready, if necessary, to go to war to make sure the United States is ready to do this if China does not comply with the American demands. Why is this? Well, it's all about who is going to exploit more the resources of nature for their own selfish purposes. Is it going to be the Chinese, or is it going to be the Americans? Before it was the British, right? The British were exploiting India for hundreds of years, right? What happened? There was a revolution, right? The British were exploiting Europe, and especially Germany. They were stopping the Germans from doing business with all their colonies. What happened? The Germans went to war with the British 2 times. The only reason the British were not defeated is because the Americans helped them both times. If the Americans didn't help the British both times, they would have been conquered by the Germans. Right? The same with France, the same with all of Europe. So this severe, nasty competition for dominance is based on the idea that people own things, not God. People and countries and governments own things. And that is a false premise. Everything belongs to God. Everything is made by God. We're made by God. We are part and parcel of Krishna's energy. Therefore, we should use whatever assets we have, this body, the senses, the intelligence, in the service of Krishna. And if we don't, that's why there's cancer, that's why there's old age, that's why there's disease, that's why there's economic problems, that's why there's natural cataclysmic problems. All these problems are caused by selfishness. It can be selfishness on a personal level, it can be selfishness on a national level, it can be selfishness on an international level. So you do not solve the problems of life by industrialization. You create more problems than you solve. But going back to the original way of life that prospered in India, I mean, why were the Europeans trying to come to India? Because India was a rich country. They came to India. Why did the Muslims invade India? Because India was vastly rich. Why was it rich? Because the people were spiritually oriented, and they lived simple lives around the temple. And they accepted their minimum, and the minimum doesn't make you unhappy, it makes you happy. Okay, Prabhu, you grew up in the village.
Yeah, I'm from here, yes.
So, I mean, you saw your grandfathers, you saw, village life.
The pictures you are going to show next week,
yes.
I met have been part of it.
Yes. Was it a happy time?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. Were they working in factories? No.
In fetching water from well, we have various techniques.
Yes.
Not no electricity, no pump, nothing.
But those techniques work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, they had a different way of life that worked. But then they got convinced that we have to industrialize. Who did that? Gandhi didn't want that. Nehru wanted it. Nehru was not even an Indian. He was some Britisher in disguise. So, Gandhi wanted it. He wanted to go back to the village. He did not want to industrialize India. So, here it says, without being educated properly, the mass of people are following in the footsteps of the vested interests by exploiting natural reserves. The vested interests are the capitalists and the industrial barons and all these people, and they're trying to exploit natural reserves for selfish purposes, and therefore there's acute competition between individual and individual and nation and nation. There is no control by the trained agent of the Lord. That means they're not listening to properly trained gurus and saints. They're listening to low-class people. Right? We must look into the defects of modern civilization by comparison here, and should follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhisthira to cleanse man and wipe out anachronisms, wipe out all these false concepts by which people's lives are basically being ruined by this type of life. You can see this, if you go downtown, you'll see the city of Seattle is opening up basically what's called opium or crack or fentanyl or houses, and shooting people up for free. You know, they have clinics now where you can go in if you're a drug addict. You bring your drug with you, and they administer it for you, so-called safely, so you don't do it at home and overdose.
Safe injection sites.
Safe injection sites.
They have
Yeah.
a standby doctor.
And standby doctor, right? This is the culture. There's a major cultural change going on now in America, and we don't. You might not see it here in Sammamish or Redmond or Issaquah, but you go downtown Seattle and you'll see it. You'll see a lot of homeless people. You see a lot of drug addicts, and they're being encouraged now. They're being encouraged, not discouraged. So this is a cultural change. It never was like this before in America. So, which culture is going to prevail? That's the question. So therefore, Krishna says here that Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th chapter, he also says, that these natural, 8th chapter, 40th verse, he says, all these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth, and this is all due to your glancing over them. So, Queen Kunti is speaking to Krishna. She says, this is all because of you. And Prabhupada explains, human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization. So I remember years ago I went from Delhi to Vrindavan, and when we passed through Faridabad, I was shocked. There were huge, gigantic factories. And I was coming down in a taxi early in the morning. There was hundreds and thousands of people walking into those factories early in the morning. And you could see the smoke coming out of smokestacks. And they were big. Big factories, the same type of factories you see in North Jersey if you drive on a New Jersey turnpike from New York to Philadelphia. In North Jersey, you can't even breathe the air there. It's so contaminated by oil refineries and things like that. And I was saying to myself, wow, this looks exactly like America. And there are gigantic factories. They're not small. And there are thousands of people working in them in Faridabad. And I'm sure it's like that in many places in India. Right? The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general, although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme, and as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. So this is the fact. In fact, in the news recently, they're quoting Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is telling his investors that Amazon could go bankrupt in the future. Did you read that? Yeah. He has the biggest company in the world now. He's considered the richest man. And he says it's not going to last long. He said no major company can last more than 30 years. This is the 24th year of Amazon. Right? So, he's a realist. Why? Because the first rumblings have begun. There was a major strike in Europe of all the Amazon workers, especially in Spain. And Amazon called the police and they said, go into the factory and force them to go back to work. And police got shocked. They said, we're not hired to go into your factory and force the workers to go back to work. They said, that's not our job. We're here to keep the public peace, but not to do your bidding. Right? So, you see, things like that did happen in America in the 1930s and 1920s. Big industrialists would hire the police or bribe the police to force their workers to stop striking. Things like that did happen in America. They're not happening anymore, though, right? So you see, people are being exploited, and they become dissatisfied, and then they want to revolt because they have nothing to lose. They're already being exploited. So we'll finish this. It says, the natural law is that human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields. In other words, nature naturally, once a year, will flood. The rivers will flood. And the rivers carry minerals from the mountains, and it floods on the land, and it fertilizes the land with minerals from the mountains, right? So you don't build your house in the floodplain. You build your house on higher land. And you let the rivers flood. Nowadays, they build embankments, they build jetties, they build all these things to stop the rivers from flooding. But they still flood, right? So, you see, we have crazy people managing countries. Like, definitely there were crazy people managing Chennai. Definitely. They built so many houses in the floodplain. And what was it, 2 years ago it flooded terribly, right? So these are crazy people. Why would they let them build in a floodplain? Because they're greedy. They were bribed. Same thing happened in New Orleans. They built massive amount of houses in a floodplain. What happened? They never imagined a Hurricane Katrina, was a Category 7 or 8, you know, and it completely destroyed all the embankments and all the different strategies they used to hold back the flooding. Right? It wiped out 3/4 of the city. In fact, the Muslims said, Sister Katrina did more than we were able to do. You say. So anyway, the minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service, bhakti yoga. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. So here is a big counterpoint between industrial prosperity and natural prosperity. Our government people, our educators, our scientists, they've all chosen industrial prosperity. What should we choose? This is why we have 2 farms now, but we're not stopping there. We want to go further. We want to have major farm complexes or projects in Washington State to practice Krishna consciousness and show that rather than rely on industry, we can go back to the original natural life and depend on natural prosperity through land stewardship and protection of cows. Those are the 2 principal points for creating prosperity. Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father, had 900,000 cows. He was called Maharaj. He was a king, although he's a Vaishya, but he was like a king. And everybody was happy in Vrindavan. There was no child would die before the parents. Why? Because Maharaj, Nanda Maharaj was a pure person. The same thing in the time of Yudhishthira Maharaj. The same thing in the time of Lord Rama. So, we want to demonstrate this. We've started now with 2 small farms, but we're going to expand that. And eventually, what's wrong with our children being trained to be farmers and dairymen? So, just like I have some cousins, they immigrated to the United States from Iraq. And they were like 4 brothers. So they cooperated with each other and they built up a multi-million-dollar business by working. They were building prefabricated houses. So one brother made the doors and windows. The other brother made the electricity. The other brother did this. The other brother was the financier, right? So why can we not build up an entire cow protection and dairy and vegetable and grain production and fruit production in the state of Washington? Washington is an agricultural state, right? But using the ancient techniques of Vedic culture. We should think about this. eventually everyone could transit from working in IT and working in factories, because even IT people, they have to eat. See, Amazon has not been, Microsoft has not been able to make a computer-generated Apple. Right? They're never going to be able to do that. Who would want to eat that? Only the Chinese make plastic rice. Right? It looks like rice. It doesn't quite taste like rice, and it doesn't act like rice. But it looks like rice, and it's cheap. So we should think about this. Okay, so I will stop right there. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask? Prabhu, ask a question. Go ahead.
Prabhu, now we are all fully industrialized and everything is corporate. Is really the entire world, everyone is moving towards corporate, but whereas now we are trying to reverse the process. I think that's going to be a
but Prabhu, I have some bad news for you. Are you ready? You have your seatbelt on? Corporate is going to screw you with artificial intelligence. Don't think it's a joke.
It is real.
It is real. It started already, but it's going to advance very quickly in the next 5 to 10 years. They're going to replace you with artificial intelligence. What are you going to do then? Do you think corporate is worried about you?
No, they are not worried about. They worried about only one thing, that is called bottom line.
Yes. And if they can increase the bottom line with robots and artificial intelligence, you think they're going to hesitate to do it?
They will go.
They'll go for it. Therefore, we should start now planning for what's going to happen in the future. Right? Don't wait till it's too late.
We have to prepare ourselves right now.
Yes. That's why, because even the corporate guys, they have to eat. Right? So if we have farms that are producing organic vegetables with ancient techniques, not depending on chemical tech, not depending on tractors either. I mean, you come to my farm, I do no dig, no plow growing. You don't need rototillers, you don't need machinery. Yeah. You come, I show you. You don't need septic tanks. We compost human manure and human urine. It's not a liability, it's an asset. And we compost, of course, the cow dung. I have a biodigester that makes methane gas. You can cook your food with it. It also makes compost tea, cow dung compost tea that you can use for fertilizer. I'm putting together all these techniques, trying to perfect them for self-sufficiency. You can live off the grid. You don't have to buy electricity. You don't have to buy gasoline. You can do all these things in a different way with using ancient technology. Just like you were living in the village. Were you producing everything in the village?
Yeah, we used to get, the firewood we will get. And everything is from agriculture. We don't need to buy anything.
Yeah, you didn't have to buy anything, right? So you experienced that. So, but you experienced also the industrialization of India. So if you can bend a stick like this without breaking it, you can also bend it back without breaking it.
It's possible, yes.
Haribol, thank you very much. Okay, we'll have Arti. Let me make a few quick announcements. The sponsors of our feast today, number one is Deepa Raman, on the occasion of her father's birthday. Very nice. We have also Swati and Vinod Gupta on the occasion of Swati Gupta's birthday. And we have Arun and Lavanya on the occasion of Murari's 4th birthday, and Lavanya's birthday. Haribol. In our upcoming events, we're going to have a drum circle. No, I'm just kidding. Upcoming events, Gita Jayanti, December 18th to the 23rd. So this year, we want to break all the records. This year we have, in Gita Jayanti every year, we have boxes of 16 Gitas, hardbound, or I think it's 24 Gitas softbound. It costs $100. And you can distribute them to their friends, or you can donate them to the temple, and we'll distribute them on Sankirtan. I have taken $5,000, 50 boxes, $5,000. Is that right? This is our gentleman here, Srinivas Kasam. Stand up, Prabhu, so everyone can see you. He is organizing the Gita Jayanti, let's say, Gita Jayanti program. How many boxes have we reserved so far? Have people reserved?
So far, boxes we need to count, but about 700 Gitas per.
700 Gitas, right? Okay. And what is our goal? 1,600, right? Yeah. So 1,600.
Yeah, if we distribute 100 boxes.
Yeah. So I've taken 50 boxes.
Half of the contribution from.
It can't be 50 because it should.
That is 800.
Huh?
800 Gitas.
800. Oh, it's 800. Okay. That's not fair. I took half of them. So the other half should be easy to reach, right? Okay. Does anybody want to reserve some boxes of Gitas? You can.
2 boxes, Chandra. Anyone else? 2 boxes, Rakesh Patnaik. 4 or 2? 4 and 2.
No, 5, right. Raise his hand like that. 5.
Okay, Chakrapani and Jyotsna, 5 boxes. 2 boxes, Radharani Prabhu.
You said 2? I thought you said 2 times 2.
Okay, anyone else? It's only $100 for 16 Bhagavad Gitas. You can liberate 16 souls. With $100 contribution, you can liberate 16 souls. 2 boxes, Devendra Tiwari.
Okay. Are you writing all these down, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'll go and write it down.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Okay, we'll do next week also. So, also, beginning Monday, and going from Monday to Thursday, every week, at 7:30, we're going to be listening to classes by Srila Prabhupada, so that people can be educated by Prabhupada directly. And there are approximately 3,000 lectures by Prabhupada. It'll take 10 years to hear them all. And we're going to start Monday. Yeah, we can broadcast it. Yeah. Okay. And then on the 22nd of December, you better watch out. You better be good. You better not cry, 'cause I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. So this is not an ordinary Santa Claus. He's actually a great Punjabi saint. His name is Sant Claus. And he's coming here on the 22nd of December. This is the real Santa Claus, not one of those phony Santa Claus in the mall. This is a real one. And all the kiddies can come and see Santa. And there's also, I think there's going to be a magician here too. So, okay, and then that's Saturday. And then on the 24th, we have our Christmas Eve dinner. You're all invited. It's free. And we're going to have a real Christmas, it's called a no turkey dinner. And then on the 31st of December, we have our New Year's Eve celebration. And on the 15th, I think the 15th of December, we have a concert here from 7:30 to 8:30 by Shriram, Chaitanya, and Jagadish. So that's a concert on the 15th. And now we have what's called Yoga at the Farm. At our farm in Auburn, once a month, we have a yoga retreat, all-day retreat with very nice prasadam and go puja, cow puja, and cow therapy. By the way, now there's a new type of therapy. It costs $350 an hour. You're able to hug a cow, but you can do it for free at the farm. You don't have to pay. I'm not kidding you. It's on the internet.
Yeah, it's in New York.
It's on the internet now. It's cow therapy. Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll have Arti. And our good friend Agni Dev is going to lead the Arti. Shiva Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Arutiko Shobha Jayo Gora Chande Arutiko Shobha Jayo Vasa Chakradhara
Vadanayu Mala Ori Jalamala O Shiva Shukanala Premi Gadagada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Shiva Jayo Jayo Gora Chande Aroti Shobha Jana Vidata Vani Jagamana Lobha Gaurangela Roti Sola Jagadana Mana 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 Lobha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Sai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Paramangsa Paribhajagacharya Stotar Sadasi Shivan. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. His Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Paramangsa Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada ki. Anand Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की. प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिरि गोवर्धन की. वृंदावन धाम की. नवदीप मायापुर धाम की. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की. गंगा देवी जमुना माई की. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की. नाम संकीर्तन की. हरिनाम महामंत्र की. बृहद मृदंग सेव की. परम करुण श्री गौर नित्यानंद की. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र की. श्री राधा नील माधव की. श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की. Samvira Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurango. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daini. Lada Lada Daini. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Silatankana Kalaye. Silatankana Kalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Nrsimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Nrsimha Madhim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Sringham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringham Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Sringham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringham Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Narahari, 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 Jaya Narahari. Narahari. Jaya Narahari, 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 Jaya Narahari. Jaya Gaurahari, 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 Jaya Gaurahari. Jaya Gaurahari, 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 Jaya Gaurahari. Gaurahari. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaura Premanande.
So tonight we have several birthdays. So we have Deepa Raman on the occasion of her father's birthday, Swati and Vinod Gupta on the occasion of Swati's Gupta's birthday, and Arun and Lavanya on the occasion of Murari, who's 4 years old, and Lavanya herself, but we're not saying how old she is. So if Swati Gupta is here, and Murari and Lavanya, if they're here, please come forward. Yes. Please get blessings of Radharani. So this is Murari. Murari, Haribol Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Haribol Murari. Okay, you ready? Let me hear you say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, dear Murari. Hare Krishna to you. Haribol, Haribol. We have a present for Murari and his mom. So 1 second, let me get the garlands first. Okay, where's Murari?
I cut my hair. I